Now let's see how we can format a table. I'm going to move to the second page in this document, and I have the same text that's used in the table just as raw text. It is tab delimited. If I turn on my guides by pressing W, you can see that we have tabs between all of the pieces of information. And at the end of what will become every row, there is a paragraph mark. So this means that to convert this text to a table, I'll press Command A to select all, come to the table menu, and then convert text to table. I can use as the column separator, a tab, and paragraph as the row separator. So that gives me my starting table, which doesn't look very promising. Let me just delete that one, the finished version, so I've got a bit more room to work with. So the first thing we want to do is simplify things. As I mentioned in the previous movie, we want to avoid data prison. And I'm going to do that by selecting the whole table. Now to select the whole table, I'll just move up to the top left corner and click. To select a column, move above the column. To select a row, move to the left of the row. So with the whole table selected, I'll come up here to my what's called my preview proxy. And I'll right click on that and choose select all. That's going to select all of the available borders, and I'm going to set them to none. Then for the first row, I'm going to select all of the cells and merge them by clicking here on this icon on the control panel. So now that text will fit. Wherever you see a red dot, that means overset text in that table cell. I'll do the same for the second row. Now let's apply some paragraph styles to the table text. I'll select the whole table, come to my paragraph styles, start out by applying the table style. So this, of course, involves having the styles pre-prepared. And then this is going to be table head. But table head, the color of the font is white because it needs to reverse out of a black fill. So I'll select the row, come to the fill property, and then we'll change that to black. Then we have column head. And I mentioned previously that we need to be flexible about the alignment. So column heads are centered, except for the first one, which is going to be left aligned. And I'm just going to apply an override here, Command Shift or Control Shift L to make that left aligned. Now I'm going to change the relative width of the table cells. The stations in the first row, I don't want the lines to break. So let's say that I can't go any wider than I currently am. I'll just increase the width and then select all of the other columns and holding down the Shift key, bring those back. And if necessary, if things get a little messed up, I can come to the table menu and choose distribute columns evenly across just my selected columns. And now for all of the times, I am going to choose table C. These are going to be center aligned, and the numbers align in this case. Now this won't always work with numbers, but it works in this case because they all have the same number of digits. Thankfully, I don't need to worry about setting any sort of decimal tab stop or getting into any of that. They align so long as I set them all to center, and they are aligned comfortably beneath the column heads. The last thing I want to do is add alternating fills. So I'll select the table and then come to my table options and choose alternating fills. Alternating pattern, I want every other row, I can choose a color. I'm going to go with black, 20% tint. I'll turn on the preview, and I'm going to choose to skip the first 2 rows so that the alternating colors begin on row 3. And maybe one last thing, and that is I will select the very last row, and I just want a solid stroke beneath that. I'll return to my preview proxy, right click, clear all, and then click back on just the bottom row, and I can choose there that I want that to have a black stroke and change the stroke weight if necessary. So that's how we can format a table. Now in the next movie, I'm going to look at table styles and cell styles. So if you're working with multiple tables to which you want to apply the same styles, table styles and cell styles can save you some time.